Okay, so then now we're ready to whip, snap, and drive. Okay, all right, okay. So balance point 1. Let's go ahead and come up on the mound. Just pretend like, let me go ahead and draw a line across. That's your mound there. So that's about 35 feet. All right, so let's look at our feet. Now, what I always like to do, now, you're better off going ahead, and we call that cheating a little bit, but that's okay. You're better off going ahead and maximize it like you're doing. I like that. It's just that you're probably going to want to go ahead and keep the right foot on the front part of the mound and the back foot on the back part. That way you're legal wherever you go. Some places you only have to have one foot, some you have to have both. But if you kind of, you know, have it like this, where you know, just be in the ballpark where you're barely touching. So let's go ahead and get balance point 1 on that. All right, now let's pretend like this is the mound. And it would be better if we had a real one, but that's okay. All right, so let's get your right heel up to the front of that mound. There you go. See how you're touching it, and then move the back. There you go. See how you still got separation? That's the idea. All right, let's do it right here on this mound here. So that's your takeoff. Takeoff's got to be right. All right, so now we come on back and lean back a little bit for balance point 1. That's it. And if you like putting your heel up, that's okay. The big thing is to start getting in the habit of having that weight on that left side. Okay, that's balance point 1. Now, have we gone into the grip yet? Let me see your grip. Okay, that's close, but it's not good enough. What you want is get those 3 fingertips. Here's the C, right? Get those 3 fingertips across the C. Always have a thumb across the seam. Okay, and if your hands are a little small, which they shouldn't be if you're going to be tall, come down on this part of the C to make sure we get all 3 fingertips or pads across the seam, and get this thumb across the seam too. Okay, so it's always like this. It's never like this. This isn't even good. It's got to be across. Everything across. So show me your grip. A little bit more. A little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more. See, we want the fingertips. See the tips? There we go. Now, your hands still are small. Okay? But that's okay. Your hands haven't caught up with your height yet. That's better. Okay? It's still not quite good enough. I want that thumb. So what we do is we come down the C to get over top. See that? Mm-hmm. See, now you're getting there. Okay? Now let's rotate it just just a little bit. Okay. You're getting close now. You see how you're and if I can get that. Let me get one so you can see what. But your hands are still small. Come down towards the end so that it's easy to slip on the side. It doesn't have to be way over here, just so that thumb's over a seam. All right, let me see what you got. All right, let me see your thumb. That's close. That's good enough, really. But a little bit more there. And the more you throw, that'll just come natural. You'll say, okay, oh yeah, that is a much better way to throw. Go ahead and let's go forward, okay, and up to balance point 2. Right. All right, go back to balance point 1. Now, what you're going to want to do is, in slow motion, start working on bending those knees and coming up. Okay, that's just going to help you get in the habit of using your legs. The biggest weakness girls have is they don't use their legs. Okay, in pitching. So we're going to go ahead and work on that right now, so you'll know down the line that we're working on our legs. All right, so we're on balance point 1. Now, our first step forward, remember, is bending the knees, driving up to the top. Okay? All right? Me and your dad were just talking about Bob Saunders. He was great at this, where he would go down low, okay, and then explode up and out. So that, kind of think of it that way, is I got to go down low and explode up and out. Okay?
Would you almost say you can't bend your knees too much? I mean, you know, you're probably not ever going to bend them too much.
You won't. You won't. You won't err on that side. But you will err on the side of just pitching lazy with your legs kind of locked up, your knees locked up, and 2 upright with your legs without the bend. We want that bend because 75–80% of all your strength is in your legs. Okay, so we got to take advantage of that. That looks good right there. All right, now, when you separate, do you like to just drop down like that? That's a common way. What feels, yeah, like that. Okay, that's good. And all right, now let's go balance point 1. All right, let's go ahead and go into your glove again. Okay, you got the signal. You're on the back. Okay, now what I want you to practice on a couple times here is go to balance point 2, bend the knees, and get up off the heels, and go with a big windmill. We're going to go out towards the catcher and then up and around. Okay, so we're looking for the big circle, which is parallel to your power line. All right, go to balance point 2. Okay, all right, now that's better. Go back to balance point 1. I see you go down and then go up. All right, go ahead. 1, 2. You feel like you bend your knees? Yeah. Okay. All right, go back and do it again.
Okay. Think about the knees.
Yeah. This is a little awkward in the early going, but you'll get there. Okay. All right. 1, 2. Okay. A little bit more bend. All right. Think of it this way. Where it gets really hard is when I try to get girls 2 to 4 years older, if not older than that. A lot of college girls don't do this right. But anyway, what you want to do is think, okay, I have got to bend. My first step forward, let me put it this way. I did a pitching camp with Beverly Smith. She's the head coach at University of South Carolina. She was at University of North Carolina. We were over in Virginia Beach. This was, about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, something like that. And Beverly was the star, and I was just helping her out. And these pitchers came from all over. You know what we did all day? They thought we were going to learn about how to throw a drop and a rise and all this stuff. And all we did was work on leg drive. That's all we did all day long. And those girls, they just looking around like, is this all we're going to do? So you see how important it is. Because and she's strong now, she's powerful, but she wasn't exploding. And the biggest thing Keely Richard did to get noticed everywhere was she started exploding, okay? And she did it young enough where they said, okay, we're going to give you the scholarships. I mean, so I'm asking you to go down that same path where you're going to be exploding. It's going to be hard to do right now because you're still so young. But you got to understand where you're trying to get. Not only day to day, but you got to understand where you're trying to get, 5 to 10 years from now too. So, all right, so all we're going to do this. Okay? We're going to bend our knees and drive out. Okay? Balance point 1. All right, balance point 2. Okay? Now, keep doing it and keep bending your knees more. You see how much I bend my knees? Okay? And that's a good, okay?
Show me your knee bend first.
Yeah.
Show me your knee bend. Show me more. Ah, yes.
Yeah. I don't want you to lose your balance, but see, it's just like, think of yourself, if you've run races before. When you run those races, I don't know whether you realize it, but when they shoot that gun off or blow that whistle, you fire, bend those knees, and push off hard. Okay? And if you're not doing it, watch those black girls that are doing it, because they do it and they do it really good. They're bending those knees and exploding out of the block. So 1 and 2, and just remember your first movement is to bend those knees. Try to bend it about 3, yeah, like that. And then when you bend, if you get up on the balls of your feet, your toes, and push, it's a lot easier. All right, 1, 2. Better. That's better. 1, 2. Okay. We need more bend. Just think. When I say 1, 2, your first thought is bending my knees. Then you go forward. So, ready? 1, 2. That's a little better. Bending your knees will be the first thing you do. 1, 2. That's a little better. That's a little better. 2. Okay, you didn't drop down much that time. Okay? If you start off back, because then you go forward and I go down. Okay? Balance point 1, go forward and down.
Okay, go.
All right. 1, 2. That's a little better. And see, the other thing you want to do is, when you push off, don't push flat-footed. All the real good pitchers, they do this. They get up on their toes and push this way. And everything, their heels are never on the ground. Okay? So that's the next big thing. Is, so some pitchers, you know, they just think, okay, I got to pitch on the balls of my feet. You know how when you run, you're supposed to run on the balls of your feet? You actually hit on the balls of your feet and you field on the balls of your feet. You have to pitch on the balls of your feet. Okay? All right, 1, get back. Okay. Well, I just want your center of gravity. Okay, now 2. Okay. All right. Yeah, we can kick that out of the way. You got the idea on the distance of the feet. We just got to work on bending those knees. 1, 2. That's a little better. Just keep pushing that bend. And because you want to go down and up and out. 1, 2. Right. So if you kind of think about what we're saying, all right, what's he saying? He's saying, I get loaded up and I go down and up and out. Okay? That way you kind of, and he's filming you, so it'll make more sense when you see yourself. All right, 1, 2. A little better. To see, all you got to do is push off forward coming out of that block and you're headed in the right direction. 1, 2. A little better, a little better. And what I'd like to see is you start going with this now, you know, pitching this way. And not just in this demo, but that we start working every day on, I've got to bend my knees and get on the balls of my feet. Okay? And it's going to be hard for this to click immediately. All right, 1, 2. A little better, a little better. Because the more you bend, the higher grades you're going to get. The more those knees bend and push off on the balls of your feet, that's when you start getting A's. All right, ready? 1, 2. Better. Now, 2. That's a little better. See, what I'm asking you to do is get aggressive with your legs. Explode as hard as you can with your legs. All right, now, you got the idea. Now it's up to you to push off as hard as you can with your legs. Okay? 1, 2. A little better, a little better. See, this, when you see the real good pitchers, just to show you, it's really hard work. And this is why pitching is so hard on the body, is because when you get really good, it's like this. Okay? And you see the pitchers dig. They dig trenches. So you can see, it was funny, you're a little young to know who Stacey Nelson is, but she pitched for me a few years. She was a great pitcher at the University of Florida and pitched for the U.S. team. And I got talking to her about, on text message, her and a bunch of other pitchers, and I asked them, I said, please tell these aspiring pitchers how important it is to be strong. And Stacey Nelson just came back and said, legs, legs, legs. Keep them working on the legs. Work hard with the legs. And you can see that's what we're doing here. Okay, let's do it a few more times. All right, nice and relaxed. And just think about what we're doing. All right, balance point 1. Explode 2. All right, now what I want you to do, that's better, but it's still not where you're trying to go. Make sure those toes are always pointing towards the apex. Now you know what the apex is. Where the plate comes together at the rear. Okay. Now we're going to see if those heels get off the ground and you get the knee. All right. That's a good starting point right there. 1, 2. A little better. A little better. Just remember, you want to throw it faster. This is the easiest way to throw it faster. Is to drive hard with those legs. because that'll generate the most power. All right, ready? 1, 2. A little better. All right, now, drive off now as hard as you can. Even if you lose your balance, let's see you go as hard as you can. 1, 2. Better, better. Now, that's much better. Much, much better. See, that's where Keely Richard was failing. Before I got her, that was keeping her from going up to the highest level. And then when she got exploding like that, then she was pitching against all the big teams in this country. That's how she got noticed. All right, 1, 2. Better, much better. Now it's clicking. Now you get it. 1, 2. Okay. All right, a few more. That's victory.
Okay.
All right, 1, 2. Okay, you're being more aggressive. So that's the biggest thing you've learned today is I got to be aggressive with my legs and my feet. Okay. Getting this whip and snap and rhythm and timing and all of that, and that's all upper body stuff, and it's huge. It's important, but you don't think of your upper body quite as much as from a power standpoint as you do. It's more whip and snap, and it's more you want to be fluid, you want to be powerful, but you want to be under control, and you want to get that consistent release point right in here. As soon as you drop down, hit that right hip. Wow, we're going to be warm today, aren't we? So what I want you to think of is when we drive out to balance point 2, we rotate our fingers towards center field, and then it's whip, whip, whip. With our fingers and our arm, we're whipping, okay? And then we snap through here. Okay, I don't know if you're snapping. Turn around to your granddaddy. When you come and show him, pretend like your catcher's over there. Come down to your release point, to your hip. All right, go through balance point 1 and balance point 2. Come all the way around. All right, now, when you come down here and go to, do you feel like you're just guiding the ball through, or do you feel a tremendous snap? Do you feel a tremendous snap? Okay, well, we'll find out. Because that's what you want, okay? You do want that whip, snap, follow through, and then drive your right foot into your left foot. Let's watch this a few more times. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, 2, 3. That's better. Now, just remember, don't collapse your body. We want to stay big. We call it staying big. And even though we're bending down here, okay, when we come back up, we're big. Okay? We got a big arm circle and a big follow through. Because the bigger the arm circle, the more power we got and more torque. And so the only thing you got to remember is we're more powerful the bigger we are. Okay? All right, so yeah, we have a new direction for you as far as driving with your legs, getting on the balls of your feet. We know we've got to do that and just continue to get better and better with that. And we know that it's whip, snap, and drive. The next big thing I want you to work on is, we call this a wall of resistance. So that when you land, we're driving out here, and when we land, you land firm, okay? And you dig those toes, that left foot, into the ground, okay? And that's going to help you get more whip on the backside. Because see, when I drive out here, if I do this, that pulls, it kind of works together. And when I drive down, this drives down a little bit quicker. Okay. And you get a little bit more speed and a little bit more spin. So, what we talk about here is really a drop ball. And then that's your top spin. That's all a drop ball is when you release early and you get top spin. So what you'll want to do with time is when you get that good ground resistance, you drive in it hard, If you want to start getting a little drop balls, you got to do is drop that shoulder down a little bit. And we'll see how natural everything looks right now. But the thing I want you to think about is, when I drive out, is land hard with the left side. And that'll help the whip and the snap. Okay? Okay. And that little bend in that elbow, that's going to help